Coffee shops are supposed to be our daily escape, a comforting ritual where we grab a warm cup, clear our heads, and kickstart the day. But what if I told you that some of the most popular items on the menu, the ones that sound indulgent, cozy, or even healthy, are actually overpriced disappointments? Some of them are straight-up scams in disguise, draining your wallet without delivering anything close to what you paid for. And the worst part? You might be ordering these without even realizing how much you're being ripped off. Today, we're exposing the 10 coffee shop items you should never order. These drinks might look good on the menu board, but behind the counter, they're nothing but a letdown. And trust me, number 1 will make you question every coffee order you've ever made. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Tap that like button so this video reaches more smart shoppers who deserve to know the truth. And if you're serious about getting more value for your money, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We break down overpriced products and sneaky marketing tricks every single week, right here on Frugal Daily. Let's get into it. 10. Espresso Tonic. It's showing up on more menus than ever, hyped as the next big thing in coffee culture. A fizzy, refreshing twist on your classic espresso. At least, that's what they promise. It looks cool, sounds sophisticated, and seems like the kind of drink a true coffee aficionado might rave about. But let's be honest, the moment it hits your tongue, it feels like a total betrayal. The rich bitterness of espresso crashes into the sharp, almost medicinal bite of tonic water. And the result? Confusing at best, borderline undrinkable at worst. Instead of something smooth, bold, or even remotely uplifting, what you actually get is a drink that's bitter, aggressively fizzy, and weirdly metallic. Like someone carbonated your regrets and served them over ice. It doesn't wake you up. It doesn't cool you down. It just sits there on your palate like a failed science experiment. This isn't the future of coffee. It's a mismatch of flavors that were never meant to share a glass. Sure, baristas might pitch it as a hidden gem, a bold choice for the adventurous. But most customers walk away questioning why they trusted a drink that tastes like sparkling disappointment. It's all style, no substance, and definitely not worth the price or the hype. 9. Iced coffee, standard brew. It seems like a safe choice, right? Just a classic iced coffee. Quick, easy, no frills. But here's the part they don't tell you. In most coffee shops, what you're actually getting isn't cold brew or anything carefully crafted. It's just hot drip coffee dumped over a cup of ice. That's it. And once that ice starts melting, you're left with a flavorless, diluted mess that tastes more like bitter water than anything remotely energizing. And the kicker? You're probably paying $3.50 to $5 for that disappointment. That's nearly the same price as a proper cold brew. Coffee that's steeped for 12 to 24 hours to develop smooth, bold flavor with lower acidity and way more depth. But most places don't want to spend the time or money on that process. So they take the shortcut, hoping you won't notice. And most people don't, until their refreshing pick-me-up tastes like it came from a watered-down hotel lobby pot. So here's the rule. Unless the menu says cold brew, don't waste your money on standard iced coffee. You're paying premium prices for a product that's rushed, diluted, and not even close to the quality it should be. If you want bold and refreshing, cold brew is the way. If you want regret in a plastic cup, well, now you know what to order. 8. Frappuccinos. They're everywhere, colorful, creamy, loaded with whipped cream and drizzled syrup. Frappuccinos look like a party in a cup and dominate coffee shop ads and Instagram feeds. But behind the filters and fancy domed lids lies the truth. These drinks are barely coffee at all. What you're actually sipping is a high-calorie sugar bomb, more comparable to a dessert from a fast food drive-thru than a morning pick-me-up. Think about this. Most Frappuccinos pack 400 to 600 calories, over 60 grams of sugar, and cost $6 to $7 depending on your toppings or size. And what do you get in terms of coffee? Maybe, just maybe, a single shot of espresso buried under mountains of syrup, ice, and dairy. You're not getting an energy boost. You're getting a $6 sugar crash that'll leave you more sluggish than before. It's a caffeine illusion wrapped in caramel drizzle. So if you're craving coffee, skip the blender. And if you're craving dessert, there are cheaper, better-tasting options that won't pretend to wake you up. Frappuccinos are pure coffee cosplay. They look the part, cost a fortune, but bring none of the substance. Don't fall for the hype. It's not a coffee, it's a milkshake with a marketing budget. 7. Mocha coffee. Chocolate and coffee. On paper, it sounds like a match made in heaven. The bold richness of espresso paired with smooth, velvety cocoa? What could possibly go wrong? Well, apparently a lot. Most mochas served in cafes today are less about balance and more about overload. They're doused in cheap chocolate syrup, smothered in whipped cream, and leave you with something that looks impressive but tastes like confusion in a cup. Instead of a bold, indulgent harmony of flavors, you get a drink where the sweetness steamrolls the espresso. It doesn't taste like coffee. It doesn't even taste like premium chocolate. It tastes like lukewarm hot cocoa for adults, only dressed up with a fancier price tag. And that price? Often $5 or more for a drink that's supposed to combine two powerhouses, but ends up delivering neither. If you actually enjoy the taste of coffee, a mocha is the fastest way to lose it. And if you ordered it hoping for a decadent hybrid of dessert and caffeine, you'll likely walk away wondering why you spent that much on a cup of whipped sugar. It's not indulgence. It's distraction, and an expensive one at that. 6. Whipped cream cappuccinos. A real cappuccino is a work of art, equal parts bold espresso, steamed milk, and silky microfoam. It's simple, elegant, and built on balance. But the moment cafes start piling on whipped cream, that balance disappears. What was once a smooth, crafted coffee experience turns into a heavy, messy sugar bomb. The texture gets thick, the taste gets clumsy, and the sharp, satisfying kick of espresso is buried under a cloud of canned sweetness. It's like taking a finely tuned sports car and spray painting it bubblegum pink. Sure, it looks flashy, but you just ruined the whole point. Whipped cream belongs on sundaes and pies, not on a drink that's meant to showcase coffee at its purest. And yet, people pay $4 to $6 for this kind of sabotage, thinking they're upgrading when in reality, they're just drowning the flavor that made the drink great in the first place. So here's the rule. If you want a true cappuccino, keep it clean. And if you want something sweet and fluffy, there are plenty of options on the menu that own it. But this? It's not an upgrade, it's a downgrade in disguise. 5. Almond milk lattes. Almond milk has built a reputation as the go-to healthy alternative. Dairy-free, low-calorie, plant-based. Sounds like the perfect swap for your morning latte, right? But once that almond milk hits a shot of hot espresso, things tend to go south, fast. The texture often turns thin and watery, stripping your drink of that creamy, satisfying body you expect from a latte. The flavor becomes muted or strangely sour, and in some cases, there's a bitter edge that clashes hard with the coffee. Even worse, depending on the brand, almond milk has a tendency to curdle when it comes into contact with heat, leaving behind a gritty, separated mess that looks more like a kitchen accident than a handcrafted drink. Behind the counter, many baristas quietly dread it. It's unpredictable, doesn't steam well, and ruins the silky consistency that makes a latte feel premium. And for the customer, it's a letdown, especially when you're paying $5 or $6 for what should be a smooth, balanced experience. You're expecting bold coffee layered with plant-based creaminess, and instead, you get something that tastes unfinished, flat, and oddly chalky. It doesn't support the espresso, it dilutes it. The almond flavor doesn't add depth. It competes and usually loses. Now, if you're set on going dairy-free, there are better options. Oat milk holds its texture beautifully and enhances the drink with subtle sweetness. Coconut milk can add a smooth richness without overpowering the espresso. But almond milk? It's a gamble. And when you're dropping serious cash on a latte, the last thing you want is to roll the dice and end up sipping regret. 4. Flavored lattes with artificial syrups. Vanilla, caramel, hazelnut. These flavors sound warm, cozy, even a little luxurious. But here's the truth hiding behind those fancy names. Most flavored lattes are packed with artificial syrups loaded with high-fructose corn syrup, synthetic ingredients, and barely any real flavor. Sure, your drink smells amazing and gives off those sweet, comforting vibes. But take a sip, and what you're really getting is liquid candy dressed up as coffee. The espresso flavor? Completely buried under layer after layer of sugary distraction. And let's not ignore the price. Each syrup pump usually adds an extra 50 cents to $1, depending on the shop. That means your basic $4 latte quickly turns into a $6 sugar bomb. And for what? To mask the taste of low-quality beans with artificial sweetness? Coffee shops love this setup. These drinks are cheap to make, easy to upsell, and rake in huge profits, while you walk away thinking you treated yourself to something premium. But the reality is, these syrups often cover up a lack of quality where it matters most: the coffee itself. If you're craving something sweet, no judgment. Just know what you're really paying for. And if you actually enjoy the bold, rich flavor of espresso, skip the syrup and taste the real deal. Flavored lattes aren't coffee elevated. They're coffee diluted. And for the price you're paying, That's a trade-off no smart shopper should accept. 3. Decaf coffee. Look, we get it. Not everyone wants the caffeine buzz. But the harsh truth is, in most coffee shops, decaf isn't just a lighter option. It's a lower priority. It's usually brewed from beans that have been stripped of their oils, their aroma, and honestly, most of their soul. What you're left with is a cup that smells like coffee but tastes like cardboard. Flat, weak, forgettable. And unless you're ordering from a high-end cafe that specifically sources top-tier decaf beans, chances are you're getting what's basically the leftovers of the coffee world. And here's the part that really stings. You're still paying full price. That same $4 to $6 for a cup that delivers half the depth, half the satisfaction, and none of the kick. Why pay premium for a product that's barely holding on to what makes coffee? Coffee? Most decaf pots are brewed in bulk, sit around too long, and are treated like background noise on the menu. They're because they have to be, not because anyone's proud of them. Now, if you genuinely want something mellow without the crash, you've got better options. A fresh-made half-caf still gives you balance and flavor. Herbal teas offer calm without compromise. But if you're expecting magic from the decaf pot, don't hold your breath. You're not getting a calm, rich experience. You're getting coffee with the volume turned all the way down. 2. Soy milk lattes. There was a time when soy milk was the dairy-free go-to. It dominated cafe counters and seemed like the smart, healthy swap. But fast forward to today and soy milk has fallen hard from its pedestal, especially when it comes to coffee. The problem? It doesn't play well with espresso. The acidity in coffee often clashes with soy, creating strange, chalky textures and a flavor that leans more nutty and sour than smooth or creamy. Instead of complementing the coffee, it competes, and usually overpowers it. And here's something even more people are starting to notice, but don't always say out loud: digestive discomfort. Soy can be tough on the stomach, especially first thing in the morning. If you've ever taken a sip of a soy latte and felt a little off afterward, you're not imagining it. That unsettled feeling? You're not alone. What used to feel like a safe choice now feels like a gamble, one that can ruin your drink and your morning. The good news? You've got better options. Oat milk has taken the crown for a reason. It's creamy, neutral, and enhances the coffee instead of fighting it. Even coconut or macadamia milk offers smoother, more balanced alternatives. Soy milk had its moment, but in today's coffee world, it just doesn't hold up like it used to. And for a drink that costs you $5 to $6, that's not a compromise worth making. 1. Instant coffee at cafes. This one. It's the ultimate insult. You walk into a coffee shop, wallet open, expectations high, thinking you're about to get something fresh, handcrafted, maybe even worth savoring. And what do they hand you? Powdered instant coffee dissolved in hot water. No espresso machine, no real beans, no grind, no care, just a scoop of instant, some hot water, and a $5 price tag. Yes, this really happens, especially in smaller cafes or large chains looking to cut corners and boost margins, hoping you won't notice what's in your cup. It might look like the real thing, served in a proper to-go cup, maybe even with some latte art on top, but the flavor gives it away immediately. It's thin, dull, and lifeless. No richness, no crema, no depth. Just that unmistakable bitterness that screams, you could have made this at home in 30 seconds, for 30 cents. And the worst part? They're betting you won't question it. That you'll take a sip, shrug it off, and move on. But now that you know the trick, they can't fool you again. So let's be clear. If you're paying cafe prices, you deserve cafe quality. Not something scooped out of a jar behind the counter. Instant coffee has its place, but it's not at a shop charging premium prices for a product that belongs in a motel lobby. This isn't just a bad order. It's the biggest scam on the menu. Now you know exactly which coffee shop items are quietly draining your wallet and ruining what should be a satisfying coffee experience. Some of these drinks might have hooked you with clever names, cozy vibes, or flashy toppings. But now you've seen through the sugar-coated illusion. They're overpriced, under-delivering, and simply not worth your order. But that brings up a new question. What is worth it? What should you be ordering if you want real flavor, real value, and no regrets? Want us to break down the best coffee shop drinks that are actually worth your money? Drop a comment and let me know what you'd love to see next. We read every single one. If this video helped you avoid a bad order, save your money, or just opened your eyes a little, smash that like button and subscribe to Frugal Daily. We expose hidden rip-offs and spotlight smarter buys every single week, so you never waste another dollar on hype again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.